I'll throw this stuff away. For it.
We are live on YouTube and I'll monitor the chat. I can pop out the chat. Better.
The back ones that hurt my house.
All right, we'll get started here in a second. Solenox stepped away. I assume they're coming back here in a minute.
Yeah, customer.
Oh, okay. Well, while we're waiting, everybody can go look at last month's minutes so we can prepare to ratify them.
Yeah, I'll okay, no.
Oh, that's one I forgot to add to this month. Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell?
What?
It's 2024 folders.
It's 2025, so it's all in one file. It's just tabs in the file now. So we're gonna have a 20 to 25 minutes and you just go and you find the tab for the month. So it'll be under board meeting minutes and just 2025 meeting minutes.
Hear that, Ella?
And no, I didn't. What was that?
Start without her.
Start with that. Alrighty. So we have Solnox in the other room, but he'll be rejoining us in a minute. We do have a quorum here, so let's call this meeting to order. First up, I didn't have anything other than something I put on the Facebook group. So first up we have which I put mine at the end of the list, but first up we have ratification of the April minutes. Anybody have any questions or thoughts on those? Alrighty, so I move that we ratify the April minutes.
Second that.
Aye. Oh,
Aye.
is there any nays in there? Assume not. Alrighty. Second thing up is the financial report. What we got, Castle?
Checking account. It's $807.16 in it. Savings account has $2,344.14 in it. $807.16.
I really misheard.
We owe. Income for the month was $1,600, $1,672.18. Advertising budget means $83.61 for the month. 10% tithe comes out to $167.22. Split that in half. I have to pay the church yet $54.61. Choice Charity $84.
And that's the 5461 is the less the 29 for the Lionode, right?
Yes,
I'm just making a note of that.
fine. There's a couple pending deposits in the checking account right now. So this is current balance right now. I have a withdrawal of $319.80 for PayPal. I have 2 transfers in of about $100.
I'm
Right
sorry,
now,
I missed the beginning of that. Can you say those again? Sorry.
I have a transfer out of $319.80 for PayPal.
Okay.
I also have 2 transfers in for about $100, roughly. Those are part of our available balance. Our available balance, like I said, is $807.16. We still need to make the payment for the last payment on the trailer this month of $500. But you all know where we're sitting right now, being transparent.
Mhm.
So we're gonna be tight again this month.
Megan's got your hand up. Go ahead, Megan.
You said that there are 2 transfers in for 100. Is that 100 collectively between the 2 or 100 each?
100 collectively between the 2, Megan, sorry. I wasn't clear on that.
What are those for? The transfer out and the transfer in?
The transfer in are ties to the church or from the store. And the transfer out, I didn't authorize this, so I don't know what that is. I'll have to talk to someone else and ask. Let me go check my
What does it
email.
say it's for? What does it say on the thing?
PayPal instant transfer ACH entry memo posted today, $319.00. I will go check my email and see if there's anything in my email account, okay?
And that's now that that's transferred, we're afterwards, we're at the 807 in the checking. Okay. Alrighty, when someone else comes back, we'll see if they know what that is. This PayPal transfer. I was gonna say it's not like the payment for the Welcome Summerfest or anything, right?
No, that was a check that's already come out, so is the Fenner stuff.
Okay. What else do we have for the financial report?
I've still got waiting on people to pay vendor fees right now. I've got quite a few out there. I'm still waiting to hear back from them. Hopefully
Okay.
I'll hear back this week and we'll have more money in our account, guys.
I'm hoping that I'll be out in time that I can be in person to pull it up. If not, I can try and do it a different day. But just the last time I looked at Patreon, we did have someone come off, so we are down. Off the top of my head, I want to say it's 930. Is that what we're at right now? But again, I will hopefully. I have my computer. It's kind of a burden to try and on my little desk here. So I'm hoping that I can circle back and update you more update. But I do know that we are down a person. I want to say they left like the middle of the month, last month.
So May's payment for Patreon was $916.09 after their fees.
91609 was the what we got.
Yeah,
Okay. So it might be a little more than because the usually we get a good chunk less, I think, from the Patreon from the fees and stuff, right? We'll see. We'll circle back to that. I made a note. All righty. Any questions on any of that? Are we ready to move on to the next topic? All right, it looked like you were talking, but I didn't hear you, Castle.
I think we're ready to move on to the next topic.
All right. Next thing is Welcome Summerfest.
Welcome Summerfest. We've got still the 10 confirmed paid vendors. I'm still working on getting more to come in. I'm gonna let Mandy Lee talk about teachers because that's what she's working on.
How many paid vendors did you say?
10.
There is some up in the air uncertainty of what ads we currently have out at the moment that I was hoping maybe you could clarify, because according to the minutes that we just ratified, there was an ad going out, but according to the IM correspondence on the Welcome Summer Festival group, the last ad would have ended like a couple weeks ago, that it was like March to April. So I was hoping maybe you could shed some light on where we are on advertising, if we have any current ads out. Because the last Facebook lead document that we had ended the end of April, which would be in alignment with what was in the chat, not what was in the board meeting notes.
We have 2 that are active. We have one for new vendors, a second run of new vendors with a different image, which is still active until May 16th. And then we have the new teachers campaign, which is active as well until the 16th. So let me pull, because I do believe I do have leads, but I only got some leads from I only got a couple leads from the new vendors ad. So I'm gonna send that email that over to you guys.
Thank you.
I'm gonna send it to festivals.
Sounds good.
Did y'all reach out to all the ones that we sent out the last time?
I've been reaching out to them. I'm still reaching out to them. I'm still
Okay.
working on
I reached out to some of the teachers, but I'm still going through the list, because at this point we're reaching out to all of the people on it, and all of the already agreed vendors, just as like, hey, reminder, this is less than a month out. These are the directions that you need. And so since all of the teachers were also on a list of vending, we decided that we'll have Castle reach out and then just add an extra blurb about teaching versus having 2 separate emails from both of us.
All right. So how many do we have how many teachers do we have confirmed?
We have I believe it's either we have 7 teachers and 8 classes because AC is doing 2, or we have 6 teachers and 7 classes. Again, when I can get my computer, I have it pulled up. Right now, the issue is finding teachers willing to teach in the morning block. So we are basically filled up for our 2 teacher slots for most of the afternoon. There are a couple spaces that I can still fill people in, but at this point, if you are wanting to teach, then you're unfortunately going to have to take a morning spot. We also had a person who will probably be teaching next year, but right now it was too difficult to try and think of how a class would fit into the structure that we have. But that will be something that we'll be discussing on our rehash and going forward. So we have a whole year to figure out how to help her, but she is going to come for vending and check it out.
We do have a headliner confirmed and everything. Meg, right?
We have a headliner confirmed. The ritual is actively being worked. We will need 5 helpers, which I feel like most of us will be there, so that shouldn't be an issue. And we have not seen it, but she did previously had discussed wanting like our feedback on it. I'm not too bent out of shape if we don't. I mean, it's going to run the way that it's meant to run.
All right, do we have any more for Welcome Summerfest?
I believe so.
All right, we've got nothing else there. I'm sure once Alaska gets back, they might want to talk about it a little more. We'll see. We have security report next.
Okay, so we have some alibis from April, leftovers. Do we get anything on the emergency lights?
No, I have not had a chance to look at anything for I haven't had a chance to tear the emergency lights apart. I will be up here all day on Saturday. I will get that torn apart so I can figure out what we need to do, okay?
Okay, thanks. And then what about the CPR training?
DPR training, have not heard of anything. I will reach out again.
Okay, cool. Beltane, there was the only injury I know about was my own, basically a blood blister. Putting together the maypole base. It really wouldn't have been an issue. I just was worried that it might break in the middle of circle, and you know how we are about blood in circle. But it did bring up an issue that we didn't have a first aid kit with us. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to make sure that gets included.
Well, we had talked about having one in the trailer, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Fixture in the trailer.
We don't have right now.
Yeah. So
So,
I mean, I did go get the first aid kit eventually, but it was like, yeah, we should have it at the beginning.
yeah.
Just need to make back out list that it's something we back out right now because it didn't get backed out.
Right. All right. Hopefully we will be doing a tabletop, our next Coven meeting, and we're looking at our EOP annual review in July. And that is all I have unless anyone has questions for me. Okay.
Alrighty. So Green Man Day. I know that we need to suss out some stuff related to the trailer because we realized we ran into this past ritual, we ran into some issues where Some things are at the store, some things are at the trailer. One of the things we need to do is inventory the trailer. And have it on, we can use the tote scan, have the trailer be one of the locations, and then just everything in the trailer needs to be inventoried. So would we be able to on Sunday get the trailer up for inventorying and then switching out relevant stuff?
Should be able to do that after I can go pick it up after I'm done with pantry.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I have volunteers here this week. I can go get it.
Needs to be inventoried. That way, the idea is we this is the first time we've used the trailer at a ritual. I mean with Con, we just literally threw everything in the trailer and just everything was there. Here we kind of had some stuff in the church, some stuff in the trailer, and we were a little bit kind of like, oh crap, we forgot that still at the church. So having the inventory will help us be able to look at tote scan and say, oh yeah, this is in the store, let's grab it. Inventoried. So bring it up. Sunday for Green Man Day. Alrighty. Do we would it be feasible to do anything like planting seeds at the property on Sunday?
To do that.
Okay. Megan, you had your hand up?
I hit the wrong button there. Yeah. So I was basically gonna bring up, if we didn't already, could we get on putting the seeds in, because we've now, I think 2 years now, say, oh, we're gonna put the seeds in the water spots, and then we don't. So
I
at
think.
least
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh, I was basically done.
Yeah, I think if we can get enough people, we could have two crews, one doing one doing the other. If we don't, then we could probably start with the trailer and get that done, and then while that's being returned, the rest of us go over to the property and do seeds, maybe. Maddie or not Maddie, Ash today. Sorry.
So I bought some of that same clover seed and put it in my yard, and it grows taller than they say it will.
Okay.
So it's supposed to stay under the mowable length, like no more than 5 inches, and it's like 8 to 10 inches in places.
So
So it just be forewarned, it's not one of the shorter clovers, it's a taller clover.
we have other seeds though besides that, right?
Yes. We have the seed bombs that we picked up at the pagan picnic last year. We've got things to plant. And it's really wet over there, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Lawn mowing got done this week.
Did you say it didn't get done, or did?
It did.
Yeah. Okay.
I mowed what I could that wasn't covered in water.
What else? What else do we need to do? I know we got to prepare stuff for Litha, but we'll also have. I think we'll have a another Green Man before Litha, won't we? Yeah, we will. Megan.
If possible, if we're doing any cleaning tasks, could we also possibly do an inventory of the cleaning supplies we have, and then let me know if there's anything we need to get, so I can put together in order.
So I'm gonna mention including, because we've got the main cleaning supplies for like the daily cleans and stuff, but we've also got the carpet or the what do you call it? Upholstery cleaner as well.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about. My brain doesn't count that in it. But yeah, you're right.
We have that because we do a weekly general inventory on cleaning supplies. For the most part, I mean stuff gets missed occasionally, but I think for the most part we keep up with that. But yeah, we can do a kind of a double check on that for sure.
Well, I guess let me rephrase that. It seems like it's a little chaotic, disorganized under the shelf. So I guess maybe more what I mean is not an inventory, and I guess more like a reorganization, putting like it seems like someone has kind of put like the toilet or like the bathroom stuffs like all together. So like that's kind of nice and you can just like grab and go.
I did that when we took out.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, we could do clean supply inventory reorganization. And with that, we probably could designate some spots for not just cleaning materials, but stuff like I've had to move around a few times the paper towels because when we get low, that spot gets filled with something else, and then we've had to move it to a different spot. So maybe having a few designated spots for those might be helpful. Mandy?
Yeah, that's
Are we aware that the next scheduled Green Man is on Father's Day?
The
Should we
one
potentially have it earlier,
the one after this one?
for June 15th is the June before the
Okay.
day before Litha is on Father's Day.
Okay. I mean, we could always adjust if we need to for that. Maybe either do it on Saturday or skip a week. But we could probably discuss that on the June board meeting too.
Well, if you want the Green Man Day before Litha, that would mean moving it to the 8th, and that would be before the next board meeting.
Okay.
If you later, it'll be the day after Litha.
We could also just prepare the Litha stuff this time too, and then we don't have to worry about it next time. Because we were gonna already inventory the trailer. We've got the stuff like the summer stuff in a tote. We can make sure that makes it into the trailer. So I'm gonna mention I'll mention that. We'll go ahead and plan to prepare for Litha because the next Green Man is on Father's Day. Let's do that. Plan for maybe prepare for Litha. We could do that. Let's do it that way. Because I don't think it'll be much of a jump to do that at all, honestly. Just make sure all of our outdoor stuff is where it needs to be. Alrighty. Anything else that we need to pay special attention to for Green Man? I can't think of anything really either. So. Alrighty. So the next thing we have is something I put on there because we began to notice that our laptop that this call is currently on to the store through the church was started to kind of expand. So I've got in there and discovered we had an expanding battery. So I removed the battery. Now it works fine while it's plugged in, but if we run into an issue during a ritual or something like that, it could get knocked out. We lose the call. We have to start kind of load it all back up. We did look on Castle suggested looking at the cost of a battery replacement. We did look and it's like $40. We could definitely get a replacement battery for the interim. However, we also have some other issues with that laptop, such as the HDMI port is failing. It's pretty intermittent. It's not been as bad lately, but it's been pretty intermittent overall. And so I'm not saying we should do this month necessarily, but I would definitely like to start looking at a replacement upgrade. In the Facebook group or the Facebook event for this, I did put a list of minimums, minimum requirements, and I gave an example of a computer that would work. I'm going to just copy this information into the board meeting chat. Okay, let's do this. or the board meeting chat, the board meeting, not the board meeting chat, uh, the minutes here. Anybody have any thoughts on that? I realize our current balance is a little on the lower end, so we definitely don't want to spend that money right now.
Honestly, my thoughts are bumping up to the next, like, size and memory is only around $70 more. I almost think that might be worth it.
For getting more than the 16
Or
gigs.
and the terabyte of SSD. But where you don't have it in the budget right now.
Right. No, and that the one that I listed there as an example, what if somebody is able to find a deal, like I'll keep looking, but if somebody's able to find a deal that it's like I do occasionally browse like officedepot.com or go to the store itself, and there tends to be stuff like on clearance that can be pretty inexpensive.
Do we
Man.
have to get one?
What's that?
Do we have to get a new computer? Have you looked at MSU surplus for a used laptop?
No, I haven't. But if you would like to, please feel free to do that. In the meeting minutes, I've got minimum specs. Those are bare minimum. Those are to be able to function the way we do with the Zoom calls and some of the stuff. I think we need that. Now I'm open to other opinions for sure. But if you find something that's comparable, that's similar, that seems to run really good, we could always look at that for sure.
I will look at what the surplus has.
Okay. Like something that would be good to do is like we have an HDMI port, but if for some reason we found something that didn't have as many USB ports, because we need at least a couple for all the stuff we got plugged in. We can always if we get something that has USB-C that has video capabilities, we can always get a docking station. That might be something we could do as a kind of a cross out. But yeah. Though I do think we could, for the immediate, spend the $40 on Amazon, which doesn't require board approval, but I am curious y'all's opinion. Spend the $40 and get a new laptop battery. I could just install it.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Megan?
I'm good with that, with the caveat that it also means that yes, we can do research, we can look into computers, but I think that being that we have a working thing, yes, I understand it's only $40, but if it fixes our problem, then it pushes off the need for the new computer a little bit longer. Otherwise, I'm a little nervous about it going full power, since it is our computer that does our call, and I would hate to have to stop everything to get the call. I guess my concern is, we get the battery, and then next month we're like, oh, let's, drop $700 on another computer. Is this really a good financial decision?
And that's fair. Bill.
I move that we spend the $40 on a new laptop battery and we wait at least 6 months to buy a new computer. We're gonna get we're gonna get that $40 off out of that battery, because that way we're also building some money back into our account too, so that we have the money to be able to buy this.
Pending the idea that nothing else goes wrong with the computer, because obviously if the motherboard crashes, if some other technology, goes. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, because the one thing that we are starting to, so it's the HDMI port has been finicky. The other thing, and I know that laptop does not have video capabilities to use USB-C, which is something that is unfortunate because if we had that, we would be able to bypass the HDMI port. But I'll also say this: the other issues with that laptop, it struggles to start sometimes. So 6 months is an ideal, but I don't know if it has 6 months in it. It's the only thing. Maybe it does. It may survive that long. I worry it may not. So yeah, so if we do the caveat of unless something fails, my thought was if we did spend the money on the battery and then we do in a few months buy another computer, that computer doesn't have to go away. It can still be used by people here if you forget your laptop at home or you just don't want to stop by your house before coming to kind of like the workstation we set up in the back. That could be another portable workstation we could use for other things. It wouldn't have to necessarily just be a waste either.
That, I see that too. I mean,
Anybody else got thoughts on that?
But they're pretty much already.
I can't hear Heather.
But that's the same battery that my other laptop uses. Cause if that's the case and then something else breaks, I can reimburse the church the $40 and buy the battery for my laptop. And then we can fix the other computer issues with a new computer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally down with waiting on buying a new computer, and trying to run this one out as long as we can. I just wanted to make sure it was, on the table that
we're gonna need a new one sooner.
we're gonna need one eventually. It's definitely gonna be a need, before too long. And so but yeah, so Bill put a motion on the table to buy the $40 one and then wait 6 months, and then Megan added the caveat of barring something going wrong with that. So anybody want to second that?
I'll second that.
I didn't hear who seconded.
Did that,
Okay.
Mandy?
Alrighty, all in favor?
I,
Hi.
Alfred? Any nays?
I said aye.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll say aye as well. All right. So no nays.
well, not to be abstained because they're not here.
All right. All right. Do we have anything else we wanted to cover?
I'll,
Hmm?
send me the link to the battery, would you?
Yeah, I'll send you that. I looked up on my phone. See if I've still got that in my history here. Megan?
Now, I don't know if this is something that needs to be like covered when Solenox is there. I don't know, but we have earmarked money for advertisements. And the money is still kind of like in the pool of all finances. So when we are spending money, it is possible that we are spending into our already earmarked advertising finances. And so I don't know if there's a way in our banking system to set up a sub file or a sub account or a way to mark this money so we know for a fact this is money set aside personally for advertisements that have already been discussed. Because, when we get the financial report of, $800, all of us think, oh yeah, we can afford a $500 computer. But of that $800, some of that might actually be advertisement money that has not been spent yet. So maybe our actual working capital is 400.
So that's absolutely a valid thing. I know that we were sitting comfortable there for a little bit with a couple thousand in that account, and it was pretty comfortable just keeping it around that float. But I know the big expense we've had lately has been the trailer. And now that that's paid off, that we should see that increase back up. Though I do think we've talked about having set budgets too. Now, like those are effectively budget items that we have to keep in mind for the total amount we have available to spend, right? Bill, you looked like you were wanting to say something there.
I'm not saying anything right now. I'm sitting here and thinking.
Right. So I mean, I guess then the alternative would be then we have part of our financial report, the breakdown of all of those budgets, because we also didn't discuss the budget that we spent for Beltane, which we have previously discussed the amounts that we are to stay within. I don't know if we've stayed within those budgets or not, because we did not discuss it in the financial report. So, I mean, I guess if we don't have a separate account that these can go into, then I guess it would fall on the treasurer. And I was just trying not to give Castle more work in his report of, okay, our total amount in the account is this, and then that's broken down into this amount, this amount, this amount, and then this amount for free spends.
Go ahead, Bill.
Beltane, I financed. I paid for the stuff for Beltane. The wood that was bought, the actual ribbons that were bought, and things like that, I paid for out of my pocket as a donation.
Yeah.
The church didn't spend any money on Beltane, other than the space rental.
Do we need like we've established a budget for each of our events? Do we need to have so I think it'd be good if we had some way to separate that money set aside for advertising, because then we could actually spend it appropriately. I don't know if that has to be done in a separate account, or if it can get I don't know how that really works. I mean, a sub account of an account, maybe.
Let me look into the software that we have that we've purchased, and let me see what I can come up with to get it where I can have it set up so that we have slush accounts for all this stuff, so that we know exactly what we're spending against.
Yeah, because because you mentioned the trailer, but we also, in addition to the trailer, we've also bought less than a year ago an entire tech system, and then a cart for the tech system. And part of me feels like our decisions to buy the cart was based on money that was earmarked for something else.
So what I'm hearing, Megan, and this is what I'm understanding, is that we need to really evaluate how we're spending money and making sure that we're spending it on actual needs, not wants.
Yeah, I mean, and also more transparency in what our money actually is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like we had discussed at one meeting, oh yeah, we have the savings account, but then we had to be transparent. Well, the savings account is not for upgrades. The savings account is for the property.
Right. Is that the battery that will fit our laptop? How long?
What's that?
The battery you just sent me is the battery that will fit our laptop.
It's the exact battery model I pulled directly off the battery. Yeah. Comes with some tools that I don't necessarily need, but it is It is the thing. But Megan, you've got a really good point. Definitely having some way to market because having a way to separate it out where we could have it on like a report that could be attached into this document would be great because then we could have like, we have this much, but this much is for this much is for that, this much is for that. And we might need to start bringing that up at every board meeting. Like the next board meeting, of course, we're going to have Litha budget on there, or whatever we're going to spend for that. Which is normally, I think our limit's 150 if I remember correctly.
Allow for in a budgeting capacity.
I can try. I can't. I'll see what I can do, guys.
Okay. Okay. So Bill's gonna look into doing that with the software we've got. And then if that's something that we need to separate into separate like accounts, maybe I don't know. I've never had like sub accounts like that. So I usually have just checking and savings. I don't know if that's a thing.
I know it's a thing that MSUFCU will do. I don't know if it's a thing that our current banking system does. Because my dad's got a savings account.
Because I mean, it would also be good because if we saw, this dollar amount is what we have in our advertising budget, we might actually spend more of it towards advertising that we need to do. It feels kind of just kind of out there in the air.
What?
So is Solenox still working with the customer?
The battery is ordered. I paid for it out of one of my personal accounts.
Worth it.
Worth it. Awesome. You catch that, Ella?
Yeah, I heard you.
It'll be here tomorrow.
Okay. Cool.
It'll be at my house tomorrow. I'll bring
If
it up.
you bring it Wednesday, I can put it in the laptop Wednesday afternoon. After church. I'll probably do it after church.
I'll just bring it up tomorrow when I have my for my meeting.
Okay. Awesome. I'm gonna also. Hello, Solenox. Welcome back. You've basically missed the whole thing just about. I was kind of hoping you come back soon.
I did just purchase a new battery from my personal account. The laptop just to make it last longer. It's a donation. Because we're tight on money right now.
Yeah.
So I'm being responsible.
Yeah, and if we can make it last longer, it seems to be working okay, other than that janky port, and having it up on there has helped with that a lot. Because
Mhm.
it's got enough support for the cord that it's not
Okay.
Right.
moving like it was.
There's a transfer from PayPal for $319.
In or out?
Ouch.
I bet you that was Zoom.
Okay, I didn't know, I don't know what, I didn't know, it just PayPal payment.
Yeah, if you go to PayPal
It'll tell me what it
and log
is.
into PayPal, and that's where you see the details on it.
Okay, thank you. I was just concerned because I didn't know what it was. That's why I was asking.
That would be my guess, because this is about the time it was supposed to renew.
All right, let me go look at it.
Would you think it was for?
Zoom.
Zoom? Okay. Yep, I guess that would make sense. Megan, were you able to get yourself in a position where we could circle back to the Patreon thing?
I mean, I can if it's important.
Well, it's one thing we just
Yeah.
we need to fill. If you could, if not, it's not. We can always hold off. But
Okay, it's PayPal payment, or it's a Zoom payment.
I said Zoom renewal, keep us away from the evil Google Meets.
well, we only have to pay that once a year, so we're good for the year.
That's fine. I didn't know what I didn't remember what it was. I didn't realize it was that time of the year.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Solenox, to catch up with where we're at, I mean, it's in the meeting minutes. We've done our financial report. That was one of the things we were waiting on confirmation on. Talked about Welcome Summerfest. We talked about security report. We talked about Green Man Day, which we've got some plans for that, for bringing the trailer up, and then also doing some preparing for Litha actually this time, because the next Green Man Day is gonna be on Father's Day. And then also doing like inventorying the trailer and stuff like that. And then we talked about the church laptop. General consensus was buy the battery and just hold off as long as we can. Basically revisit it in 6 months, barring the laptop craps out.
Do you want to maybe pre-off up to a certain amount so that if it does crap out, we're not waiting till the next board meeting to replace it?
Well, couldn't we hold an emergency board meeting if needed in that situation?
Do an emergency off, but we could go ahead and pre-off it and then it would just be make the move when it dies. When you declare it dead.
Well, I think the concern right now is where our finances are right now, because we've only got about $800 in the account.
Yeah.
So what if we waited just like a month or two on that to pre-auth, just to make sure we kind of let the coffers fill back up a little bit more, just because now that we've paid off the trailer, next month we should have more money in the account.
Yeah.
So, and then we did talk about budgeting a little bit, because Megan was talking about the fact that we have money. We spend money on stuff that might be cutting into stuff we would otherwise spend on advertising or something like that.
Yeah, and we should have a budget. And that's part of what we need in order to get back our certifications as a charity so that people can donate to us.
Okay.
Um,
I'm working.
Sorry, Candid.
And
So-
I will get working on that this next week.
We were talking about
Certifications
Oh, have we?
on there.
one of the things we were talking about was using the software that Castle's using for the stuff to create budgeting, like buckets, and using that as kind of yes, we have this dollar amount in our account, but this is what our actual money to spend is. Or possibly, if needed, doing separate accounts, like another account specifically with the bank for budgeting to transfer money into, or for not budgeting, for advertising or whatever things.
I don't think we necessarily need more accounts. I think if we set up a budget, we can plan all of this. There aren't any unexpected expenses coming in here that aren't being explicitly voted on.
All right.
So, we know we've got the budget for advertising. We know we've got the budget for ritual expenses, Fenner, Welcome Summer, Zoom, all of the things.
So-
That should be set out as a monthly so that we got the money for it.
And I will work on that. Working on that.
Is this something we should plan on, like, checking up on our budget status every month? Probably then just plan out for the month anything that we might have forgotten or we know is coming that's unexpected or something like that.
Yeah, that should be part of the financial report and check in
Sounds good.
adjustments to the budget. You need to step out. That's all.
I'll be okay. We're just about done.
Did you have anything you wanted to ask about Solenox that we've covered up to this point?
No, I don't think so. Looks like you guys talked about everything.
Okay.
Okay, so I got the Patreon stuff up if you're ready for that, Ella.
Okay.
Membership is sitting at $964 with 22 paid members.
Thank you. All right.
Was I looking up something else as well?
There was something about somebody dropped. I think you were wanting maybe to.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I was looking. There was something that I thought was not Patreon that I was also going to look up when I had my computer.
You were gonna look up something about teachers, I thought.
The teachers, yeah, the
That's
teachers.
what it was. Yes, that's what it was. Well, hold on. I have to connect to the internet.
At least that's not like it used to be, like a whole half-hour situation, right?
Correct, except for I have to hit the button that is like, yes, I'm okay with my employment monitoring my internet use.
Ooh. Fun times.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 6. So we have 6 people and 7 classes.
Teachers, 7 classes. Okay.
And right now I have room for 3 afternoon classes and 4 morning classes.
And I will put out those, but I'll send out those emails again about those people that want to teach.
Yep.
that off our leads, and I'll see if we can get some more people to teach for us.
Yeah, because I believe
Go ahead.
I thought you were done. Continue.
I'll also reach out to Aaron because Aaron said something about wanting to teach, so I will reach out to Aaron too.
Yeah, because on the leads, I believe we have 4 or 5 potentials.
Akos is not allowing Heather to stop petting his belly.
Oh,
Must worship. Oh, I'm the biggest sucker. Must keep offering.
Every time Heather pauses, Akos raises his legs up higher to get closer to her hand.
Better than what Jelly does when he decides I need to be petting. He swats at me. I try to walk away.
I have scabs on my knee from my cat getting my attention.
Get the other business we need to look at.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I didn't think you had that much bending. If somebody has anything, I guess motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Bye, guys. Chairs with my truck, and I'm going home. A sticker.
I got like all of the ones that I could, but they got the sticky stuff, so I gotta get the groomer on and probably this week.